never had a closure. Did you ever have to, like the DVD set? You had to listen to a voiceover.
Yep,
for the final episode where they actually got home. Yeah,
they read the script, so you actually find out they do make it home. How scary is that as a kid? You know what I mean? To think about it now, like they would never air that today because of all the snowflakes. What happened to them?
Well, it's that, and it's like it's like go on a ride, and it's like the
Dungeon Master would be a transgender or something.
I don't know. I agree though that I would die for a toy line based on that.
When did that show end? In the early 80s or something like that?
It ran like 84 through like 86. I think it was 2 seasons.
They had no mercy back then, man.
That was 5 episodes.
No mercy.
I have it on my hard drive.
Put them in the body bag.
So what happened? So it never ended. So you never got to get like the
you don't know,
end of the story.
Yeah. You don't know if they did home or not. Yeah. There was a script, and most of the voice actors got together years later, and they actually did a sit down where they read the script.
It was like 06 or 07. It got released on the DVD box set with it. But but it's one of those running storylines where they were just trying to get home like every episode, and they never did, and then the series got canceled.
Sounds like Quantum Leap.
Film it,
There's a really good YouTube video.
Sounds like me last night. Fucking Applebee's at 3 a.m. Sorry.
Shout out to parenting. That picture was hilarious. Fucking kid.
I'm getting mad already.
No.
Go ahead. All right, guys, I'm out.
Who the fuck invited this guy? He's on vacation.
Here we go. Construct the bots. Sorry.
Oh, Gary, you went there, Gary. Who texted who today?
I jumped
for a favor.
I know. I jumped.
Okay.
I was supposed to. That should have come out like 45 minutes from now. I got nothing left now.
Yeah, don't blame him, Dom. You got some vodka in that lemonade he's trying.
Oh, okay.
I do have a little bit.
It's the alcohol talking.
In my my.
So what tells your significant other? It's the alcohol talking.
My Etchbox Thundercats mug.
Nice. All right.
Start the show.
Yeah. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 68.
Oh, we were on air.
Breaking the mold. Oh my God. I'm Harrican BX. I say what's up to the rest of the crew. We got a special guest here with us tonight.
Yeah, it's
the rock father himself. That's mates. What's up?
Who?
It's Dom. You finally showed up on time. Love you, Dom.
Thank you for having me on tonight. That's great. I feel very appreciative.
Thanks for making
it. Dom's killing
him. Dust, what's up, dude? Welcome to BTM.
Yo. I'm actually on a Tuesday where I'm supposed to be on a Tuesday, I guess, right?
Yep.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I kind of invited myself, so. And there goes my headset. That's awesome. So you guys had no choice. Like, fuck. All right, it's only one night, guys. We'll get over it real quick. We gotta have him on. God forbid we don't have him on. You know what's gonna happen if we say no.
Who invited Uncle Eddie?
I might every once in a while to hang out with everybody. So. And I ain't doing shit anyway, so why not hang out with you dudes? Thank you.
No doubt. All right, next up, Energon Addict. What's up, Pop?
Yeah, it was good, man. Happy Tuesday. And Dust, that's not true, man. The minute you asked, we were all like, yes, no problem. Half the time, this crew can't come up with anything to talk about anyway. So we're just somebody else to talk shit.
I feel awkward. I feel like I should be asked, not me asking, but that's just me. Whatever. It's okay.
I don't think Brian said yes right away, but that's just me.
No, I got to deal with him on Monday.
I got to deal with you.
I don't want to deal with you also.
Uh-oh.
There's a reason why those hangouts have been light lately.
The analyzer Brian Brink. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, Brian?
How was your Zombie Jesus Day?
Bring a little more than that, buddy. Come on, turn it up.
Zombie Jesus.
Sweet Zombie Jesus.
What you got in your pocket, Brian? Is that like got your microphone hooked up?
It's his beeper, Dr. Beeper.
See, now you can hear me talk.
I
Now
want
you
to.
can.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, fancy pants.
Fancy. Indeed.
Can I do that too? I don't.
Brian. So I listened to ETR this afternoon, and I was like wondering why you didn't give Chan some feedback on regards to just keep driving when the cops pulled her over.
Hey, look, man, I don't give up my moves.
Let them catch me, right?
Yo, that was funny last night, man. I had a good time last night. Everybody was in rare form.
So,
That's good stuff. Big Dom, what's up, dude?
what's going on, guys?
How are
Enjoying.
you?
Good. Tired.
Everybody seems like they're a little beat. I just
I had the family over on Sunday, so I had 12 people.
You hosted?
Entertaining.
Nice.
It's all that egg hunting.
Yeah. That did that too. So
You had the family over. I wasn't there.
yeah, well, you know, the family that I like. But
We're second class.
He wasn't serving yuca, all right?
Yeah, there was no pateles, no pernil,
No,
none of that,
no,
bro.
no.
None of that.
Maduros.
Stuffed shells and then chicken palm, man. That's all. And the ham. We did
Shout
the
out
ham.
to chicken parm, baby.
Yep. Chicken palm and stuffed shells, and we did a ham with some potatoes and sweet potatoes.
Man. I had ham on Sunday too. I had Taylor ham.
That's good. It counts.
Nice. Did you do any of the cooking, Dom?
I did. I
Nice.
cooked the ham.
Nice.
I cooked the ham, and then
Country music.
we catered the other stuff. So
So
it was fun.
when you cooked the ham, did you go get it from that honey baked ham place? That's how you did it.
No. I got it from Stop and Shop. Yeah, I went to Stop and Shop.
Dom, what do you do? You put the pineapples on it and stuff?
I do the pineapples.
You
on
do the
it.
clove?
You gotta put the cloves and you gotta cut it into crosses.
Yeah.
That's how you do it right there.
I took it out 20 minutes out before it's ended, and I put the glaze on it, spread the parts, and let it seep in, and then put it back in for 20 more minutes, let it cook, and take it out.
Oh, you're talking dirty, baby. Keep it going.
I was just gonna say, is this talking about cooking or what? No.
Thanks for the invite, Dom.
He
Slapped
spread
it on the
glaze
ends
with
before I served
balls.
it. Said, go do your job.
Nice.
I like those outer crispy bits of the ham. Do you
Yeah,
guys like
yeah.
that
Yeah, me
part?
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Good stuff, Dom. Good stuff.
It was
All
good.
right.
It's good. A little tiring, quickly cleaned up afterwards. So I was like, didn't want to do it, but I did it to get it done with.
At least you chipped in, bro. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. All right, G Money, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Everything's cool. Sunday, everything's good. Sunday was very calm, just regular kind of day. It's good or bad or indifferent. When you live somewhere and you move away and you don't have any family nearby, some of that stuff is, kind of calm, peaceful, sometimes a little bit boring, but you're right back to the routine. So I got the Dust Mites vacation countdown going on.
Nice.
Though, so a couple more days, and come Friday, I'm off for a week. So
Gcation?
Nice.
Gcation or something funny like that. You gotta come up with a hashtag. Dustcation,
I was going to say I have to think of something.
Gotta come up with something. You
But,
gotta make it fun. You gotta make your boring ass vacation like mine. So
Yeah,
that's in the fucking world.
exactly.
Gary, you should come down to Maryland this weekend.
What's in Maryland?
Endgame and people you know.
Oh,
In
okay.
game, people,
And yeah, so hyped for that.
Hey,
All right.
Gary, over by you, are you like in like a city or is it like the woodsy area?
No, it's definitely the city. I'm like, Dave, you've seen it, right? I mean, it's very.
It's like Long Island.
Gotcha. So there's no more
It's like
getting up at
what?
5. There's
It's
no
like
more
Long
getting up,
Island.
there's no more getting up at 5 a.m. and running naked amongst the deer.
Yeah, no, I don't have any
more of that?
how
Yeah,
Any
he frolics
woodlands
us. He
here?
frolics
How
with the deer.
far are you
No,
from
no,
Albany, the city, the inner city, Gary?
10
How
minutes
Oh.
tops, maybe?
10
Like
minutes?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Tom, you know where it is, right?
Yeah,
Right by the airport off Wolf Road, like right there.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
by
yeah,
all
yeah.
of stuff.
Hey,
so.
we're by the airport.
Yeah, I'm a good earner.
I'm good.
A lot of goods coming out of that airport.
Forget about it.
Yeah, that's a.
All right, nice. All right, JD, what's up, dude?
Hi.
How are you?
Hey,
Hi.
JD.
Hi.
Hey,
Hey. How we doing?
Good, man.
I got a joke.
Oh,
tell us.
Hope it's that stupid dwarf joke again.
It is.
Oh my god!
Oh god!
Again?
How many dwarfs does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh, here we go. PC police.
I'm not saying anything.
No, it's mythic.
Oh, it's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a mythic joke.
So we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons earlier. This is a joke from one of those episodes.
Dude, dude, you had Chuck in that chat. Chuck's
God.
like, what is it? You're like, I answered. And it's that.
Yeah, he kept answering
I'm waiting for numbers to start popping up in the chat, but I guess not.
All right, chat squad. What do you think? How many fucking? What is it? How many dwarves?
How many dwarves does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Remember, it's on a delay. So
Yeah. Well,
Dungeons and Dragons.
Steady.
Anyway.
I thought maybe you found out what my waistline was.
Nope.
no, I was just gonna say while we're referencing the chat squad, maybe they could. I was gonna say maybe they could search. What was it, Dust? The left cheek and right cheek. you posted, and I brought it up. You're like, I post a lot of things. You have to be more specific.
I don't remember what I did 2 hours ago. Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny.
It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. He's like, what are you talking? I was like, Dust, you sent us the video of these like chicks like in the Power Wheels cars like driving around. And we're like, oh yeah.
Was it 2 a.m. or was it 10 p.m. or was it 10 a.m.? It matters on what time of the day and what day it was.
Josh threw out 7. I don't know if it's a number answer or what.
Anyway,
I need that's like he's an assistant to keep track of all this shit.
We'll just ruin it now.
Take
Ready?
applications.
You ready? You
Yes,
ready
please.
to kick me out?
All right, do it.
None. They're not troll enough.
Night Wingham said 0.
Yep, Night Wingham said 0.
Boom.
But ate ham at my mom's on Sunday, and
What's the Taylor Ham?
moved it. No,
I don't know if you heard my bad joke earlier, but Taylor Ham is a fat chick that sings country music.
Oh, I get it. That's good.
Yeah, I had to say it twice. Guys,
and then moved to bed yesterday, and that was it.
Really? Moved to bed, huh?
wow, he's bragging about his sexual.
I know.
No.
Really rocking, huh?
He's like, hey, babe, I really moved to bed.
How far did you move it?
Through the
Boom.
I was gonna say, don't tempt us with a good time.
Chan surprised my mom with a new bed.
Who's washing dishes?
Someone's in the shower.
We're good. The bacon. Taylor Ham. I love you.
Look at Dom looking at his wife right now.
He's like, baby, I'm trying to do a show. Leave me alone.
All right.
Same time every fucking Tuesday.
It's like every other week.
Doing dishes when I'm doing it.
Tell her we see a reflection in the photo.
They're making fun of me now. They're all gonna laugh at me. They're all gonna laugh.
No, they're all gonna laugh at me. They're all gonna laugh at you.
That time, I swear.
He turned it off. How do you do that trick?
Black guy.
You would turn my camera back on. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this camera back on.
You know, you could always
Present to
found that
everyone.
out last night.
I was gonna say if he comes back on with a busted lip, then we know what happened.
Yeah, he got it then.
Oh my god, that's so funny. So funny.
Oh god. All right, we're starting off.
Yeah, my weekend was low key. I mean, I don't really do much, just chill out. And then I wrapped up jury duty yesterday. Was there for 7 days, like in total.
Guilty
To a verdict.
or innocent.
Guilty, all of them.
Innocent.
Always guilty. You know what I'm saying?
They
So
wouldn't be there if they weren't, right?
it was an experience. For sure. So back to the grind, man. Back to work. I actually enjoy being there because it's like most of the time I was serving last week was like half days. I get paid full time to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was chilling like all week last week. And then we wrapped up yesterday. So yesterday was like the first full day like in court. So it wasn't really too bad.
Did you deliberate?
Yep.
And
About an hour or so, hour and a half.
Did everybody come to a consensus easily, or did you have to like you have to pull host duty and be like, yo, present the
12
facts.
Angry Men.
Draw on the chalkboard, shit like that.
I was kind of leading that shit, but
I'd imagine you were, man.
But it was cool. It was cool. Like everybody, chimed in with what they thought and stuff like that. Just
Here's the question: is your fellow jury mates going to be on a future episode of Verbally Challenged?
Nah, that's it. It was like, yo, peace. Have a good life. I was like, we'll probably never see each other again. You know what I'm saying? So just
podcast thing. You want to pop on? We could discuss the case. It's hard to find topics, man. You know,
I should have, right? That would have been interesting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the judge did say, hey, like you can't talk about this case like while it's in, while it's ongoing. But they were like, after it's done, they were like, talk about it all you want. And blah, blah, blah.
Was there a bodega involved? No.
Bodega
involved? Fuck.
No.
What kind of case was it?
Close to, it was like a personal injury case. Civil case. Nobody going to jail or anything.
He showed up all spiffy and shit.
If I would have seen him in the courtroom, I would have been like, oh, okay, I can't be on this jury anymore.
Robert D was there.
The lawyer. He wouldn't have been able to keep a straight face in the courtroom. But all right. So Dom, where you at? Dom, you back? We stopped making fun of you, bro. Triggered. Oh, triggered.
Is he that sensitive?
No. I'm sure he's busy. He'll be back. All right. I wanted him to take lead on the discussion that we were gonna have tonight. He threw out like a lot of cool ideas in the chat and stuff like that. So just basically about like, I guess, our collecting, the types of collectors that we are, how we've evolved kind of like through the years. You know what I'm saying? And he like kind of like through the questions that he threw out kind of made you have to think about, what do you like about your collecting habits now? Is there anything you don't like? Kind of pretty interesting questions that would kind of have to make you think. So I don't know. So, I mean, the first one he threw out was like, what type of collector are you? So I'm not sure what he really means by that. You know what I'm saying? We all collect, figures, you know what I'm saying? There's different varieties of collecting, there's action figures, there's statues, there's high end, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, Jose, it was in reference to a friend of ours did a video last week. Or the week before, and there's a multiple choice list if that'll help you decide what kind of.
Dom's back too, by the way.
What's up, Dom?
Sorry, I was taking a shower.
Right.
The water.
Dom,
threw her out the backyard.
Blink twice if you're in danger. And we can
help me, please. No. It's fine. She was washing some fruit because we had some fruit left over. So
it's all right, dude. We're just busting your balls, bro. It's funny.
No problem. Bust away.
Was it great?
I knew you guys were.
You gotta watch the food upstairs when you're on a podcast, bro.
Yeah, go watch it in the sink upstairs. Did you hear that, babe?
Dom fucking.
I said I love you, babe.
He put duct tape on her, tied her up so she doesn't make any noise. Yeah. Like, all right, that's it. Done. All right. So, dude, what's up? You threw out some topics today. I want you to kind of take lead on the discussion and stuff like that.
I just wanted to like from we I just want to know like I just threw out like what type of collector are you? Like I know one of our favorite YouTubers that we watch and listen to. I had a sit down discussion, and he kind of classified intentions of collectors and kind of put categories out there. And when I listened to it, I actually thought, where do I fall in all this? And then it was funny because I felt like I I wasn't just one particular category. I think I hit like maybe 2 or 3 of those categories that that was listed, and I also felt like there was more categories to add to that. But from I just wanted to hear your thoughts and where do you guys feel? Where do you collect? Where do you put yourself? What do you think of yourself as a collector? And then other questions too. Like we can go down the list. I think I put out like 5 questions. It was fairly straightforward. So I don't know who wants to go first. But
I like the question a lot, Dom, because I think, I've shared it before, and like a lot of the guys on the panel, collections, like situations have changed since we've known each other, right? Kind of personal scenarios, whether it be living spaces or sharing your living space with somebody else or getting things out of storage on display. And I think just because of my situation in the last year, it's really turned me more into like collecting for truly about like a hunt for something and searching for something cool versus amassing any type of volume type of thing. So I think that's always been something that I've had fun with, but over the last 20 years, going back to like Power of the Force stuff in the mid 90s, where I was buying anything I didn't have, that was Star Wars, and still getting excited when you found something on a peg, that you hadn't had before, to now, I think I'm definitely more of like it's about the search and the experience of finding it and maybe, collecting something new and different versus any type. I have zero end goal right now, zero whatsoever.
It's interesting, Gary. Do you find yourself like, since you're in a temporarily, like your space is limited, so do you find yourself like the way you said you've changed, so you're looking for stuff more that you can enjoy, not something that you're gonna have on display, right?
Nope, you're right. Yeah, I think I look at it as stuff I can enjoy now in the moment, not so much thinking about for the long term, piece, because I guess maybe I've sold myself thinking that whatever keeps coming out, right? There's always new stuff coming out. So there'll be more things that are interesting me or interest to me. But I think you're right. It's having something, I'm just kind of looking around right now, like stuff that, I can see, enjoy in the setting. But it's also spun off just an interesting little tangent where I think I've tried some new lines just out of curiosity, since I don't have that end goal in mind, where I haven't locked myself in to a certain scale or, a certain genre or a certain fiction or any of that kind of stuff. So, it's interesting. But like I said, it's because it's definitely changed from versus having, this vision of a full display right now. I think I'm just trying to live in the moment, as cliche as that sounds, right?
Now, Gary, from what you're saying, or do you feel you're are you better in regards to the fact that, you're actually exploring other lines and looking at other things? Do you feel like, due to the fact that you are in this situation, you're thankful for the fact that you did now you have an open mind to explore some other aspects that you might not have been exploring in that original plan that you were on?
Yeah, I think so, because of the fact that, I'm looking at trying to enjoy stuff for now. I'll put it like this, like cost, I don't know, it's not like an ass when I say it. It's not about the cost piece. So I found pieces, you buy something for $30 or $40, right? And I find I enjoy it as much as versus spending, $800 on, Hulkbuster type stuff, right? So it's just interesting. And I can see myself when I'm back in a more permanent situation, transitioning back to something more of a vision. But I just think for now, I'm not buying stuff to hold on to it for that day. I figure there'll be new stuff to look at then, right? But it's interesting. But it hasn't diminished. Dave and I talk a lot, and I've shared some of this where sometimes I felt like I was losing interest in it, but I realized I really haven't lost the interest in the collecting. It's just a different perspective for that. Some thoughts there. But I like the question. That was a good question.
So just moving on to the next person, I have JD. What about you? Like, where do you think you are as a collector, and how do you view yourself in your collecting ways? Like, what do you think your focus is on, and what your intentions are?
When does JD start? Which room?
All the things.
Yes.
Right.
My answer is yes.
JD,
Buy all the
Everything.
things.
your new motto is going to be probably the new name of the Cold Souther album, All or Nothing.
All or nothing.
JD,
Yeah,
I
pretty
think,
much.
like, knowing you, JD, like when I sat down and watched that video, I was like, JD is definitely likes to play with his toys. He's a guy that's going to take it off the shelf numerous times, play with his toys. He's interested in articulation. He's interested in gimmicks and everything, and also the customization of things. And I think one of the words that was thrown out in the video was a tinker. I think you are a tinker in regards to analyzing a toy, taking it, pulling it apart, and utilizing it for your best interest.
So yeah, I would say there's definitely stuff that I have that are strictly display that I really don't mess with.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the majority of it, I have it because I can pull it down off a shelf and mess with it. I like to do that. And of course, I like to do the customs. So I end up with a lot of, cannibalized action figures, so that the tinkering is there. I mean, as far as like my intentions, I keep hearing everybody, Gary specifically, the long term, like I don't really know what that means. I mean, if it's like looking at it to sell down the road or whatever, I don't really.
You don't have an end game.
I don't have an end game.
Yeah, you don't. You haven't thought about it. There's no concept in your head about it. There is no end game to you.
No, like whatever gives me that little chunk of my 6-year-old self, I'm there. But then again, I get we got stuff like 1,000 Toys, and I mean, I'm becoming a little more refined. So I'm getting away from like the mainstream stuff. So like all the cheesy little gimmicks, you know what I mean? There's I'm not really into that so much anymore.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Dino Wars gone.
Yeah,
Masters gone.
I mean, I still have. I still have
Return. No.
I still have all that stuff. It's just stuff that I can play with. You know what I mean? Or if somebody, one of my friends come over and they bring their kids, I can just pull the bin out and say, "Hey, have fun."
Yeah, that's awesome. I used to do that a lot with my nephew when he used to come up, and my friends with their kids back in the day, like in the 90s, collecting. I'd be like, yeah, there's a whole box full of shit. Remember those the big 10-inch Marvel figures?
Oh yeah,
yeah, go have fun, man. Party on,
Like this summer, a good example would be this summer. Paul and his wife and Gavin, they'll come up here and they'll hang out for whatever, a week. And while we're here, I'll just get all this stuff out and let Gavin go nuts,
Now, do you do that because you don't want them to assume that every toy that's on that shelf is playable? You put it in a bin and say, these are the playable toys that you could touch?
I mean, they're in a bin just because, I don't really have this. I mean, I have the space to put them out, but I don't. There's other things I'd rather have on display, than Combiner Wars or Siege stuff. That's more like just shit that I can sit on a table and like anybody can pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pick up and mess with, flip back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's kind of.
Damn you, Jose.
Yeah. So Jose, let's go into you, Jose. I know.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You've been in a transition. I know you've been in a transition phase in regards to slimming down your collection. Space, obviously space is an issue with you, but where do you find yourself now or where are you going towards in regards to your collecting? What's your idea and as a collector and your habits, and what are you focusing on?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it conservative, like for now. You know what I'm saying? So with that, just kind of focusing, I guess, on the things that I would enjoy messing with like the most. The things I would, try to think like back and think, oh, this is what I would be like most happy with. Like JD, like just mentioned, like he's not getting any really kind of, big enjoyment like out of the mainline stuff. So he's gonna shift like that focus elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been kind of like enjoying that stuff because I noticed like with pieces like this, and I'm loving this piece. Like, thanks to the Jackal Squad for like the gift guys. Like, it looks amazing. Like, I think I'm just in awe of just the look of it alone.
Well, didn't you pick up the Optimus in the Megatron?
I got them all, and and these are very highly playable. You know what I'm saying? Despite being, on the, I mean, I wouldn't say higher end. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those figures are like in that $80-$90 range. This is over $100, but I feel like a piece like this, compared to like another third party figure that's maybe like in the same range, it doesn't feel as playable to me. This feels like it's a lot more durable. You could kind of flip it back and forth, have fun with it.
For the audio listeners, what are you playing with?
This is the Make Toys Buster Skywing.
For the guy who fucking put money in and doesn't know what the fuck it is. What are you playing with?
Yeah, my dad. It's like, I wonder what he's messing with.
Particularly like with the birthday.
Did I buy you?
You know, when it comes down to like the birthday day, what did he say he want? All right, whatever. Here. There's so many fucking birthdays going out. It's like, man, it's that 3-month period where it's like, man, I feel like every day I'm just doing this.
Yeah, that's like when the rock fiscal year begins, like, and I think, what is it, October, November, that we got to be like, boom, holiday time. Right. Holiday time. You know what I'm saying? But I guess basically just things that I could mess with, like that I'm going to have fun messing with. So for me, that's kind of been like the mainline stuff recently, just because, just the fun factor, flipping it back and forth. Because usually when it comes to pieces like this, the Buster Skywing and other third-party pieces, that stuff usually just stays on the shelf for me. So I can't say I get the same level of enjoyment. Like, I love viewing it, like, and looking at it when it's on display, but it's not the same when you're actually messing with it, or like taking pictures and setting scenes and doing photography and stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Setting up a big battle.
Now, moving on to our host, our guest here, Dust. I know you're focused on Masterpiece Transformers, and you haven't stepped out of your lane. You stayed in that lane, so you're fairly focused in what you're collecting. And I think you're exactly like me in regards to you're going to put it on the shelf, enjoy it for what it looks like, give you that nostalgia feel from when you look at it. You're not playing it as much as these other two typical guys are playing with it, because we're just where I'm probably more of a display aspect of our collecting, or looking for a display aspect for our collecting. So like, we'll share like, I know.
I am definitely what you're saying. I am definitely a displayer now, and when I first got into this, if we all know, I was not streamlined in my collecting. I was all over the place. I was buying everything. If it was new, it was coming through my doors. Whatever third party company was, Fans Project, or was whoever. Back in the day, in 2012, 2013, if there was a pre-order, it was new, I was getting it.
Dude, it's funny you say that, because I remember looking, like about a year ago, I remember looking through some of like the old hashtags, and I found an old post of yours, and you and Steele were going back and forth, and you were like, man, I forgot what the third party figure was, but it was like early in the game, that 2012, 2013, and you were like, man, I found a not Starscream, I found the not Optimus, and then but it seemed like you were picking up everything. Like,
dude, I fell hard when I got back in, man.
Yeah.
I fell hard. Of course, I found out the Masterpiece, and then I found out about Generation stuff. I was buying everything, and then the third party, forget about it. I was all over the place. The packages were just coming every day, every fucking day.
I did the same thing.
Dust, I have a question, because you also kind of have like I know the Transformers, and you like the Marvel Selects, right? And your comics, and a little bit of Star Wars, for stuff. Yep. But specifically in the Star Wars genre, tell us about that really unique collection that you have, specifically that your favorite character.
Yes, it's young Anakin from
yes. Okay, so this one right here.
I'm sorry,
if you guys can see, it's we're trying to get Dust into the 1/6 scale, and he really very much enjoys like the young Anakin.
I'm telling you, man, if that comes back to my house, you're fucking dead.
So if anyone out there has an extra one of young Anakin, any scale will work. But go ahead and let me know, and Dust is pretty modest.
Life scale
but I'll be
works
happy
really well.
to moderate for him. But he's got one here that's
I'm gonna start the Anakin collection, the 12-inch Anakin collection.
Yeah, exactly right. No, it's okay. So
fuck you guys.
If Hot Toys makes a young Anakin, it's coming right to you.
I mean, God forbid something does happen to me, that better not be in my fucking casket. I swear to God. Not want to be morbid, but I swear to God, dude.
you know what happens.
Yeah, but like when I'm now, I feel so liberated since I streamlined and said, okay, this is what I want. I'm doing. It was masterpiece scale, closest thing to the cartoon as possible. But I had, if you watched last night's Enter the Realm, you could tell I've have an issue with where my collection is, and I'm torn, and it's tough for me. And I think it's part of the reason why I'm starting to lose the love again, because I look at my collection. It's not where I want it to be at this point in time. It's a mishmash. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, little hyper tune, little mid tune, little no tune. You still got the Takara aspect. So it's frustrating, and I have to think to myself, like, look, it's not going to be that one way. You have to find a balance. So it's like that's up to me now. What my masterpiece Transformers.
I was going to say this. You said something interesting seriously last night, which I think is true. I think it probably affects all of us, and everyone else can share too. But sometimes it becomes a bit more work also. And you talked about kind of like selling one version for a version better, right? We've all done it. We've all, different avenues of doing it. To some degree, it's part of the process. I think part of collecting, but sometimes I think it can feel like it's just more of an effort than maybe you get tired of it, because it's repetitive.
You guys saw me at NJCC trying to flip those guys. How much cheaper can I fucking put it? I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it practically giving it to you.
Have all that old stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? I needed if I could get half the money to put into the new stuff from that stuff, then I'm okay with it, because you know what? Right. I bought most of those figures years ago, and that money's been and gone. I'm not that type of person that holds money too close to his heart anymore. You know what I mean? I used to be that dude. Penny count every penny. I paid $1. I want $1.10. Now it's just like, man. It's old money. It's in the past. Let me get something out of this so I could get this. And I think how I became that way is when I decided at one point in time, and of course my transmission going, and I had fucking $3,500 to put for a transmission. And you know what? I didn't have the money in the bank. It was right after me and my ex split. You know where I went to? I went to the shelves. What don't I want? Well, that's not really cool. I really don't give a fuck about that. Why do I have this? I had $4,000 in 2 days.
Yeah,
and I wasn't asking the top dollar either, but I had to cut my money because I needed that money fast. So I was giving away deals, and I think that's what liberated me and gave me that freedom. Now, like, you know what? Yeah, I could get another $20-$30 if I fucking try for another week, but you know what? Right. It's out of here. And it hurts me because you know what? I spent a lot. I had to go full retail on all these replacements. The cafe didn't have them. All these other spots didn't have them. So I had to go full retail. I spent $80 on that fucking Huff. That's a lot of fucking money for a fucking figure that's, small and not all that good. That's some Fast Toys money. You know what I mean?
That was the shit that kind of stopped me from kind of getting in full force, like back in the day, like with the masterpiece and stuff like that, or just a little bit of the higher end collecting in general. I'm like, man, these things are the same size as like a deluxe class figure or a Voyager class figure. And I'm like, they're asking for like 10 times the price. Like, what the fuck? Like,
but you know what? With me, with the third party stuff and with masterpieces, like when you have it in hand and you put it on your shelf,
that's what you realize.
Man, I cannot. That Generations and the Chug stuff was fun. That was fun to have, fun to play with. I think that's where I got the playability out of my system. Was all the Chug shit when I was collecting the Transformers Prime stuff, the Hunt, going out. I got all that out of my system with that. Now, when I finally realized how I want to streamline my collection, and it's kind of frustrating because not everything's coming out as fast as I want. And it's not what I want. And I'm kind of like taking my time with stuff, and I'm kind of falling out of love with some of that stuff. But then again, I dip a little bit into Marvel Legends. Like I was going to be out, But then I wanted to get my Sinister Six back, and I was like, "Nah, I'm done. These older figures are too much money." And then they started redoing some of the older figures.
Mhm.
So those $80, $90, $100 fucking Marvel Legends aren't going to be that much anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm like, and they're better. They're more streamlined for the way I want to collect. And I'm not a all-out Marvel Legends collector, but if it looks and gives me that feeling from my old comic book, because I'm still an old school comic book fan, I'm in. That's why I got the Marvel Selects, as shitty as they are. You know, because it gives me that little comic tickle. But yeah, right now it's very tough because I've been in this apartment almost 2 years, and it's still set up like it was when I first moved in. So this vacation I'm supposed to streamline the stock room part of the room. I bought 2 new shelves. I'm going to put them together so I can have my my bigger bots and my combiners all on one area, and I'm going to get rid of all that clutter in the corner. And then I think what I'm going to do with the Marvel Legends and Marvel Selects is do a little something unique in the living room. You've all been to my place, so right of the TV, that one corner where I used to have those big black towers at.
Yep.
The shelving units from Walmart in there. I'm going to get rid of that. They're not there now. I want to get something more unique where it gives light. You could see it, and make it a little bit more of like a better display piece with that, So that's just still a work in progress. But it sucks that I have this shit over here in the corner stacked up unopened. And I'm like, what am I going to open it for? Because then I'm going to put it in a shoebox and it's going to sit in a shoebox. Might as well just keep it in the package. And when I finally realize and finally think about what I want to do and come up with an idea, that's when I'll make it work.
Have you ever felt like lately, like the way you said you weren't happy with the collection that you got like going on behind you, which is what you've put the most effort into, like displaying? We've all discussed it here before, like about like having those thoughts and feelings about.
But have I really put all that money, all that time in display? I haven't changed anything up or done anything in a year. So am I really still scared? Am I still really putting that time in? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I question myself.
So no, that's what I mean. So with that, have you questioned just getting out of all of it? Like, what I'm saying? We've all said that.
It always happens, dude, man. You sit back. There's times I sit back here and I just look and I calculate. And that's the worst thing to do, is to calculate the money you spent. Stop calculating the money that went out. Because then I start thinking like, man, I could have a fucking down payment on a townhouse. I got enough money in the bank right now and I could sell all this stuff and just pick up and move and start over. You know what I mean? And just start over. And I'm like, there's my bank. But then I'm like, you can't think like that, because there's a reason why I have this. There's a reason why I got into this. There's a reason why I went this way. Just at this point in time, I don't feel that reason is as important as it was a year ago or 6 months ago. And it happens to me. This happens to me in waves. And this is what happens when you're a one-way collector, like someone like JD who collects everything, and you guys are you dip and die, you're trying everything. You got your Mythic Legions, you're buying this, Chris, the way Chris collects with his hot toys and buying stuff I wish I had that in me. I wish I could look at something that's in BBTS and say, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on that. That's pretty cool. But it's not. If you notice the way I collect, everything's kind of like anchored to triggers in my life. Growing up, comic books, cartoons, old school toys. You know what I mean? When you guys collecting them, Mythic Legions is nothing for me. Nothing for me. They look awesome. They're fucking dope as fuck, but I don't care about having them. You know what I mean? And how I'm like I'll look at something like, oh man, that's so dope. It's so cool, but it's very nostalgic. It's very retro, and I'm the only one liking it. You know what I mean? Because that tickled my ass back in the day.
Hey,
like that Batman playset. You know which one I'm talking about? The one you bring up,
the Wayne Manor.
Yeah, I think the plastic one.
Oh yeah, the old Mego one that was cardboard covered in like plastic vinyl, clear vinyl. I thought about going back and going and getting retro stuff, just stuff that I remember as a kid. The Batmobile that my grandfather made me put in front of the car while he drove it over. I had my fucking head, man. Very, very bad fucking growing up, man. It wonders why I'm such a douchebag, but no, I'm just saying. It's like I thought maybe like doing like a little more, like a little retro section and stuff like that, and stuff like when I got that Lion Bot, kind of triggered some feelings in me. You know what I mean? It's still in the box. Do I care about it? Of course I do, but do I look at it every day? No, because I don't have it displayed properly. If I display it properly, then it's something more to look at. When I had it propped up in a corner on top of my comic boxes, I looked at it every day like a piece of art.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's where I think I have to do. And I know this comes down to the whole thing, like displaying has been a big thing on everybody's minds. It's been a topic of everybody changing your display. How do you display? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? I was talking with Chan for a while last night in the hangout about ideas I've had for my D12s and make it look not just like a bunch of guys just standing on a shelf. I saw somebody's collection that something sparked me, and it's not Dio's, but it's a little bit of a Dio life. It's a little bit of a, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's utilizing more of the space, you know, and making it more unique. So, and that's what's cool. Maybe that's what I need to do instead of like looking for the next piece that could finish the puzzle because I'm so close to the end. Why don't I just say, look, let me look into my collection and see how can I make it better. Instead of spending $200, $300 on figures, spend $200-$300. Why don't I finally get lights for this fucking thing?
That'll help. That is
fucking lights for it.
That is the other side to it. Like Dave knows, you know, him getting his display the way he's done in the past year.
Fucking Dave is an inspiration.
Yeah, you know, like
I'm lazy.
That's the other. And to me, I feel like I don't have like I feel like I fucking lack the vision to do like a display like what Dave's doing, like you know what you got behind you, like you said, like you just kind of got the figures there, just kind of like knowing what you would want to do like in a room or with.
But don't get me wrong, there was a lot of thought process that went into that because it's divided by season, and I have it balanced, and it's not like just I'm cramming everything in there like some people do for their displays. So with a D12, I think I took a little bit more time to figure out how I wanted to do things. And you know, if people say detolfing is done wrong, I think I'm doing, for what I have, I'm doing it the right way, but it could be better. You know, and that's just me thinking about other ways of being more unique. But I just like to have it the way it is. I like to keep them separated by season. You know what I mean? And you know, you got your taller ones towards the back, little one here, little one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you keep it symmetrical, kind of. You know, and that's where the OCDs kick in. But you know, like, how come I haven't lit them yet? It's not that I don't have the money. Dave, we were in fucking IKEA when I came to see you, and like, man, I should just finally buy these fucking light kits. And I said, you know what's going to happen? It's just going to sit in the side because I don't have I can't tinker. I don't have the patience to tinker. I don't have patience to do things. I'd rather pay someone.
But you got the fucking disco shit going on in your house. Right,
but you know what? You know how easy that is. You just put it. You just put a fucking thing down, plug it in, and walk away. This thing, you got to run wires and you're fucking drilling shit.
Well, I say
if I do it, it's gonna look half-assed. It's gonna be like scotch taped up. Wires gonna be everywhere. You know. I'm sorry. What'd you say, JD?
I say we have a party at your place. And
if you guys want to have a lighting party, I will supply the food, the booze, the fun. I swear to God, I will be a happy motherfucker.
I told you, man. I'll help you. You just gotta feed me, bro.
Dude, whatever you guys want. It's on
me.
And to add to like your display, like the you know, not so much a Dio, but I will say that whatever you decide to like throw into a shelf to kind of punch up the figures that are there to help the display, like things like that they've really hit me in the heart and like really make me appreciate the work that goes into making the toy, and like makes me appreciate having the toy in my collection. It gives me a whole new look on like, you know, you get stuff like that. Like,
it gives a new flavor and a new. I mean, you guys know me. I love what I have. I put it on the shelf and I'm happy. I don't need it in dynamic poses. Thank Brian coming here, the robot whisperer, and putting my figures in actual fucking, you know, in poses. Because other than that, they may have the occasional gun in the air or a gun out like this, but that's all you're getting from me, man. It's fine for me. That's
nothing too crazy.
Yeah, so I'm not really like a tinkerer. I used to be kind of a photographer. I used to do like the white background, just showcasing the figures, just show people, because I was getting so much shit in. I was just trying to showcase some new stuff for people. I lost the love for that too. So it's just like basically
do it for the gram, right? Is that the
yeah,
same?
you're still doing it for
That's the
Instagram, man.
same. Dude,
Hey man, if I didn't do it for the gram, we wouldn't be fucking sitting here talking to each other, guys.
No, that's what it was. Like I almost felt like in a way back then, that's almost like what it was, because it was like, you getting the shit almost, being one of the first ones.
You had to be the first one, man. On Instagram, when I figure, man, it was tough, man. We had some competitions. I'm like, I used to like pay Hanny extra money just to send it overnight sometimes, just so I could be the first one on Instagram with that. And I used to like now figures will sit in a box for fucking months. It used to open up seconds, right? Seconds. Yeah. Cheesy pictures, but I would like, and I would post the pictures live as I was going through the figure. So like, if you were in your stream back in the day when Instagram showed you shit as it happened, not now. You could see the progress. You could see where I was going. I showed you the box. I showed the instructions. I showed you the layout, what's in there. I show you the figure from this section. I show you the figure from this side. Transform the figure, every angle, upside down. And then I would show it like do a scale, show it with other figures and how it looked with other figures. And then on the last picture, I would give you my thoughts.
I miss seeing all that stuff.
Yeah, man, it was fun back in the day doing that. And I still like that, it's still fun to do it now, but it's like Instagram has changed, the collecting changed, the game has changed, and people have moved on and grown. I don't need to be that guy anymore because there's 100 other guys like that now. And shout out to those dudes. But back when I was doing it, there wasn't many dudes doing that shit. At least that I knew of, The game was still new. The third-party game was still new. Masterpiece was still kind of new, So I'm taking up too much time here, but
no.
Yeah, man, it's like there's parts of the collecting aspect I wish I was more into, but I don't have the time. I don't have the patience right now. Hopefully at one point in time I can get into it a little bit more. But for what I'm doing, I'm happy. I'm still holding on. As much as I say I wish I was out, but I'm not out. And I'll never be out. And I know I just say that just to fucking make myself feel better sometimes. But yeah, it's just. I'm at a point in time right now in my collection. If you watch last night's Into the Realm, I went on a little bit of a fucking rant that I wasn't planning on doing. It just came out. But the way I felt, and that's honestly how I feel right now with the way toys are coming in my collection is, and it sucks because I used to be the Toon Tickles guy, and now, the Toons Tickles guy, and now I'm like, oh my God, when it's too much, you know what I mean?
Oh, there's always peaks and valleys, dude. There's always peaks and valleys.
There needs to be a balance for me.
Yeah.
And right now, because I'm a huge Fans Toys fan, and I love the way the Fans Toys look, but it doesn't look good with the Hypertoon. And I don't want too Hypertoon. I just like some Toon elements. And I was just sitting here sniffing the new Wheeljack. It smells good.
Can we confess that we all do that? Like once we take a figure out of the package, is that one?
Yeah, that's a topic. Right? Do you smell your figures?
I was sniffing this guy while we were talking before.
Yep, I'm living 5 years off of my life right now between this and the beer. But yeah, I mean, we'll time will tell and see, man. But you guys know how I am. You guys know me long enough. I'm a fucking pain in the ass with this shit, and I go through but I love it. I love everything about it, man. I love what we do, and I love collecting, and I love having that part of my childhood with me. And I don't have the regular stresses that everybody else. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have kids. I don't have a fucking wife, man. I love it. It's fine. It's fun. All right, next.
Okay, so Dave, Dave,
shutting the mic.
Let's move on to Davey. Dave,
what's the question again? No, I'm just kidding.
So I know you, Dave, and we all know, your intentions in regards to collecting. You've been making leaps and bounds in regards to your display. I think your intentions are definitely to display your figures in that display aspect. Enjoy them for the visual that they will give you in that room. And
he's an inspiration.
And he is. He's completely.
I want to see more pictures, man.
And I think you're definitely battling with whether I'm going to have enough space to collect it. With all the stuff that I'm collecting, you're going to make some tough choices in the near future in regards to whether you're going to let some pieces go, or you're going to continue collecting other new lines, or continue lines that you've been collecting because of the amount of space that you're going to be working with. But I just share some light on, like, talk your words and let me know, like, tell us what you feel.
I was just gonna put a cherry on top and say, all right, I'm done.
No. But like,
you basically,
we all know
no,
we're
I'm
very
just
close.
kidding.
We're all very close here, so I know.
No, of course, but like you said, I mean, it changed. Like when Dust was talking, I felt like interrupting, but I want him to keep flowing. So basically, it changes, it evolves every day. So you can put stuff in a display today, love it for a week or two, and then a week later, you realize, you know what, this might look better somewhere else. So you're gonna constantly change your shit no matter what. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing that. I have 8 details behind me. They were all filled with 1/6 scale figures. And this weekend I put even more into I have a curio with about, I think there's 30 of them in it now. So I have 30 of them in that, which I that cleared up room for 3 detox. They may not be able to tell them back at me because I have them spread. They're not, I just didn't have 3 empty ones in a row. I have them spread, but if you count the little boxes, there's room for 3 more because I know my collection is going to grow. On top of that, I put them on these bestas, which I had no idea what I was going to do with them. So I was stuffing them with all different types of toys, different scale figures. I have Ninja Turtles in one. I tried doing the Mythic Legions in one. I didn't like it. It's still in there for now, but it's going to come out. It just doesn't look good in there.
It's all trial and error with you.
Trial and error, yeah. I actually put some more 1/6 scale figures in one. I was able to fit another 6 of them in another besta, down there.
And you bring a valid point, because I think this will help you out too in getting a rebirth in regards to your appreciation for what you have. I think is flip it around, switch it around, like to put whatever your Autobots in what row, maybe put them on top and spread them out differently, or maybe think about getting risers to raise them up a little bit. Use those vertical space as much as you possibly can.
Yep. Because that's what I was saying. I saw something that he did in his collection that made me say, "Wow, yeah, it's going to cost me a little extra more money to make this happen." Mm-hmm. But I think when I do put that little invest in your collection, can I buy extra figures? Of course, but let me invest in my display.
And that kind of goes back to what I was saying, like just putting that little extra into what you already have makes you appreciate it so much more.
Yep. I think Brian, you do this. I know you do this in selling aspect at your table. You constantly move your stuff around the table to keep it interesting. Like, so when people walk around, you're not seeing the same layout every single time. You're actually seeing you see something different, and it gives it a different appreciation or a different exposure to what you're showing off. So it's definitely a good tactic to use, whether your collection or just even in the aspect of selling something on a table. So
I mean, I like doing that because you get the same people walking around the floor all day, so it gives them it's a little service to them, get them something new to look at. Plus, also, I mean, you can go stir crazy behind that table, man. You just right. I have some loose toys. I'll mess around with them, display them, and maybe someone will like it and be like, "Oh, hey, look at that."
You can apply that same concept to your display in your collection, because I think even a lot of close friends that we're going through right now are taking their collections, the way they've displayed it, taking it all off the shelf and just coming up with a different plan and regenerating that love, because the fact that it's positioned differently. So it's it's something that it definitely is a technique that I'm going to look forward to doing in the future in my displaying, because I used to
do that a lot too. Back in the day when I had in my old apartment, before I did the Detolfs, when I had just had the black shelving, I was always constantly changing things and making things work. And now I don't like this. And Wheeljack will look better with the Dinobots because he made them. You know what I mean? Ratchet I used to have Ratchet and Wheeljack with the Dinobots, and and now when it comes to like my display now, this makes me want to buy multiple figures, for different shelves,
for different scenes and different shelves.
Yeah, like being that I have everything split by season, I always said from back in the day, I need another Perceptor and I need another Blaster, because not only were they big in season 2, they were huge in the movie in season 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like. Fuck.
So Dave, you're going to get into that point where I know you go into other lines. I know your Hot Toy Star Wars, you're basically Dragon Ball, your Mythic Legions. You got a little bit of you got definitely Masterpiece Transformers. You got reformatted IDW stuff. So are you feeling like is there any line that you see in the near future that you might just say, hey, I might just stop it here, cut the cord and just not continue because I don't think I'm going to go that route anymore? I
mean, reality of it is I'm not there yet. Okay. I've had some ideas of that, whether or not I'm going to do that, but it all comes. See, like your list that you brought up, it was completionist, player, tinkerer, photographer, displayer, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's an evolving thing, just as being a collector, period. Mm-hmm. So like I started off, the first 2-3 years I was, with you guys, I was an inbox guy. I got something in, I messed around with it. I got to play with it for a few weeks or whatever the case was when I kept it, in my dining room at the time. And then I would box it back up and put it away. So I found myself being more of a player and photographer there, because the only time people knew I even had toys was when I took a pic and put it on Instagram. Other than that, you wouldn't even know. I could say I own, every toy under the sun, but you're not going to believe it unless you see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what got me into the toy photography thing. So that was my way of showing my toys. That kind of, faded off as I started working on the room and I started podcasting, because I was able to talk about the toys more. So it wasn't so much just, hey, look at me, I can take a cool picture, but look at me, I like to talk about toys as well. So for me, I think these days I'm less of a completionist only because I'm now displaying. And, that's something that, we've spoken about in the past, but it's like, once you start putting shit out, you realize you can have all the room in the world, but not everybody does. I don't. I have a decent room where I can put shit out. It's pretty big, but it's not for the shit that I amassed. I amassed quite a bit. And now I'm at that point where, like, you know what? I really want to get what I like fucking around with. Like, we talked about the mythic engines, right? Mm-hmm. Those toys I like to play around with. So I can say I'm a player in that aspect. Somewhat of a tinkerer, because I like to pop off this guy's head, pop it on the other.
Oh yeah.
I did that the other day. I put
jerk a few guys off in the bathroom on stormtrooper bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Thought that was cool.
Dave, it's funny that you bring it, because just to cut you off a little bit, but like when I saw that list, I was like, Dave, you're all of that. Like I felt like as a friend and all the things that I know about you, and I saw the categories, you touch every single one of those categories. You even from every specific, like even like one specific toy line, you're a tinker or you're a player. Then other specific toy lines, you're a displayer. And like, you're in regards to completeness, I know you're Dragon Ball Z. You're complete. You complete everything in that line. So it's and that's funny, because when I saw that list, I was like, Dave touches every single one of those categories. Yeah, on every toy line that he collects.
Every one of those penises.
Every one of those penises.
Show us in the categories,
including everybody on this fucking panel too.
Be careful.
But Dom, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm still got empty shelves behind me because I don't know where I'm going with some of this shit. So it's like I get the enjoyment of taking it out and displaying it. You know what I mean? And that's when I get the display aspect of it and the play aspect of it, because I'm like, oh, he'll look good like this, and this character's meant to look like this, doing this specific pose or position, or that's when I get into that shit. But the completionist thing, I think I'm fading away from the most, because it's so hard to keep up on all this fucking shit. And this, even with Transformers, like, I thought I was there, like masterpiece shit, I thought I was finished, like almost finished. And the reality of it is I'm not, because they're coming out with better shit. So yeah, I did the same thing Dust did. I replaced my Red Alert and my fucking my side swipe with the Bad Cube. I what else did I replace recently? I replaced, I'm constantly like replacing things because of the game's changing. They're coming out with something different.
As much as I'm hating that, I don't think I would still be that much involved if it wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because if there was nothing else out, you'd be bored. You'd be like, oh, fuck that. That's old news. What's next? Yeah. So, but yeah, basically, like you said, I touch a little bit on everything, so I can't really like focus on one. But at the end of the day, I think that just being a collector, period, you should have more than one of these aspects. You know, if you're just gonna buy toys to play with them, that's cool. But you know, as an adult, I just can't see an adult playing with a toy and solely playing with a toy all day long. We have jobs, we have fucking, you know, jobs, careers, fucking real life shit. So we can only play with toys for so long, you know what I mean? Right. Or before they break, because some of these things aren't meant to be played with. They're meant to be displayed. Like JD jokes about the hot toy shit, but you can't play with that shit all day long. No. You know, you're gonna fucking you're gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
Fabric is gonna, you know, some of this fabric gets, you know, it gets sensitive in regards to
hot toys is not made to be pew-pewing with it, you know, rooming, that's for sure. But they look fucking good, man, and I'm tempted every day of my fucking life with this Star Wars shit, man. We were talking about it last night to have an emperor with 2 fucking royal guards behind it.
Yep. I'm very lucky that I have steered myself away from that. I want to. Believe it or not, as much as I fucking talk shit, I would like to, but I'm not going to, because I mean, again, it comes down to that. Like, I would build some pretty fucking impressive shit just to display that stuff.
That would take up a lot of fucking room.
I got Brian to blame for that, because
how come we're not highlighting the kitty cat? By the way,
the kitty cat.
How come he's not highlighting?
Look at She's quiet. She's being quiet, so it's good for right now.
Yeah, I think I heard her say more than you in the past 10 minutes.
Look at him, he's faded.
He's 9:30. He's ready for bed. He's get a little vodka and lemonade. Look at him. He's done. Jesus.
But you guys also mentioned,
I don't mean to throw you guys off.
She's out.
I mean, you also mentioned like that boredom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that boredom comes all the time. Like, you know, I think every one of us hits that boredom stage where
it's like a wall.
You gotta you know. You got to think back of what is important. Why'd you start? What's driving you? What was the drive before?
I'm glad you said that because I'm sorry, JD, I didn't mean to interrupt. But what I do is I go back and I watch the cartoons again. I go right through it, and that it sparks my interest again. I'm like a kid again, or I'll take my the Marvel comics. I'll digitally throw them onto my tablet and just read a couple comics every night. You know what I mean? And it just sparks it again, and I go right to the shelf and I look for that figure that I just saw that episode or just read that book about, and I just look at it and fuck with it a little bit, and I put it right back on the shelf, and I'm like, yeah, there it is. Mm-hmm. Sorry, JD.
Oh no, it's okay. My comment kind of piggybacks that anyway. So like you can go back and do those things, and like you have that boredom, but like you're also not tied down to one. I mean, you got your comics, you got the Transformers, you know, like the Marvel stuff. You have the Transformers. You know what I mean? So you're not technically tied down to one thing. And I guess my point would have been, you know, you're in one line only. You're going to be fucking bored.
Yeah, but you know, like that brings it back to the different categories, right? So like if Dust just picked up a figure he hasn't picked up in a while, right? Mm-hmm. And took it to his little photo booth thing that he has going on, right? And just started snapping pics with another figure that he hasn't picked up in a long time. He's getting both the player aspect and the photographer aspect out of it again. Yep. And he might fall in love with he might just be like, oh shit, this thing is pretty dope, but I haven't taken it off my shelf in fucking a year and a half, so I forgot about it. You know, so him messing with it, he might get that love back again, you know, because half of the shit was in a box. I didn't remember I bought it. Mm-hmm. When I took it out, I'm like, oh shit, now I remember why I bought this thing.
Yeah, it sucks because you're trying to put shit into display, and the next thing you know, you're fucking with shit forever. That was like when I got my comic collection back from Steel, you know, because we didn't speak for a couple of years, and getting it back, and like I was going through my comic collection trying to put it back in order and get it back and organized, and like it took me for it because every time I picked up a book, I was like, oh shit, I remember when this came out. I remember buying this. Oh my god, look at the cover. And then you open it and you're going through the pages and you're like, oh my god, I remember the storyline and da 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 da. And next thing I know, it's 9 hours later. I got stacks of comics all around me, and there's nothing that's put into place. And that's the same thing with these figures. Like, you don't fucking play with them in a while. Like, I remember this is one thing I can say is like that Wreck-Gar, right? Wreck-Gar, I bought him, put them on a fucking table. I took 2 pictures of them, put them right out on the shelf. Haven't fucked with them since. And that's a figure I need to go back to because it's a fucking great figure.
Mm-hmm.
I never fucked with it. And that's what stays in my mind. That's one I need to go back and fuck.
Take it off the shelf right now, bro. Take it off.
Take it off.
Shitting
away.
So I'll leave the best for last. So Brian, what's going on, buddy? I know you're I know your Optimus collection. I know you have a great, large, vast collection of Optimus Primes, but you're getting into other lines. I know you have specific. When you get to those other lines, you do definitely choose what you like. You don't, you're not completing everything in regards to getting that completist attitude. But when I can see that completist attitude in regards to Optimus Prime, because you got every Optimus Prime. I'm not saying you got every Optimus Prime, but you got the majority of every Optimus Prime that comes out. But how do you feel, or how do you see yourself as a collector, and what category fits you best in regards to where you feel?
Well, I'm looking at this list. I'm trying to figure out what I am, and I think I'm a delusionary.
Yeah, there you go. Make new ones up, guys.
Right. So, like, from a completionist perspective, like, I decided to go completionist on 2 lines, and so far I'm doing all right there. But everything's in a box because I don't have room to display a collection that big, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a card, Diaclone, and Batman animated. But I call myself a delusionary because I feel like I want to be a displayer, and I put stuff up on shelves, but to me, like right now, these shelves are just storage units for when I want to be a tinkerer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice way to put your shit away, kind of thing.
They're not display shelves; they're storage shelves.
But also, I feel like I've been fooling myself, like for all this time. Dave mentioned it with when you're just buying everything and everything is in a box, you didn't know what to do, and you're kind of going with a completionist attitude that way. But it's like I'm looking at some of these shelves, and there's like 3 of them that are complete, and I feel like maybe I don't feel like making a display, and it's like cooking, right? Mm-hmm. You're not gonna cook unless you have all the ingredients for this recipe. So
especially breadcrumbs.
Exactly. Right. So like I'm not giving a lot of love to my Transformers collection because there's a Trailbreaker missing. Fuck it. Right. There's
but that XCB, man, that's a great toy.
But my Star Wars collection is A New Hope. It's all figure arts. It's all there. It's great. Mm-hmm. I love that shelf. My Silverhawks, great. Love that shelf. Turtles, fantastic, right?
So with that being said, Brian, do you feel like are you going to take some things down? Are you going to say, you know what?
No, the thing is, it's like I feel like I'm not going to focus on doing what I want to do until all the components are there. I don't know. It's how I live my life as well, which is probably why I don't know. I feel like I'm not very good at having goals. So, you just live in the moment and you do what you can with what you've got right then and there to the best of your ability. And it works out pretty well, except for like if you want to start a family or something like that, because it's like,
it's overrated.
Can't do that unless you get a relationship with somebody, kind of thing. But it's like, I don't know. Like, so I've been thinking about it a lot. It's like, I just feel like I'm just accumulating stuff because I like to mess with stuff for a while. And mainly, it's just the hobby, like evolving into my lifestyle here. I just pick stuff up because I feel like it's my job. It's like, hey, there's new toys out. All right, gotta get them.
See, Brian, I'm very envious of you, man. Really am. I really am very envious of you.
But like, Brian, is it bad? Is it bad just to accumulate? Like, I know you're saying it
in your badass hat.
And you're like, it sounds like you're putting a negative tone in it, but like, is it bad for just accumulating toys?
So before anybody goes, I just want to say, all jokes aside, like all tote life jokes aside, the nice thing that you have going, you can take stuff out of those totes, take stuff off the shelves, put those in the totes. You have an ever rotating display if you want, and you're constantly fucking with shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Brian, it's like if you didn't accumulate, your ability to do that wouldn't exist. Like, what I'm saying. So I don't feel like it's bad that you're accumulating toys, you're obviously buying them because you like them.
Yeah,
And if you're not able to display them at time or period or right now, but you will eventually when you want to respark any kind of interest in that in your display. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that the last NJCC kind of showed me something. It's like I went there with 7 totes of stuff, came back with 2. And of all the stuff that I got rid of, like 3 figures from this room were a part of that, right? Everything else was stuff that I bought.
In the staging room, right?
Yeah, in the pantry. You know, I was just cleaning out the pantry. You know, you look at those expiration dates on the canned goods, like, get the fuck out of here.
Cream of corn. What's the cream of corn doing?
Pink salmon out of here.
You know, it's just interesting stuff like that. I don't know. I have another thing is I've kind of sabotaged myself in the way I've just been putting this room together. I deliberated about it a lot, and still I come in here and I'm not quite enjoying it the way I want. So I need to move some stuff around in here. Like this desk, I don't like where it is. It's fucking me up, right? Like this whole part of the room here is unusable because this desk is here, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So like I need to do some things to kind of get me back and set me up for success.
You need
for enjoying stuff.
So I have a question though, because I know Dave, like you showed us your room when it was like empty, right? When it was like a blank canvas. And Brian, it seemed like you kind of were going kind of piece by piece. Have you thought about taking everything? I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But have you thought about taking everything out of there? You know, taking everything down and then kind of rearranging stuff and just starting totally fresh versus like a section by section approach?
I think so. And you know, I've moved some stuff out of the pantry, so to speak, so I can get stuff out of here, move stuff around. Thing is, like some of these shelves, man, they're like all level and zip tied together so they don't rattle and stuff. It's like, God damn it, I gotta take all that crap apart now. But you know, it is what it is. And you know, and you look at you know, the guy who inspired this topic and what he's been doing the last few months in his place. I mean, he's been taking his basement apart, moving around everything, and it's like, you know, I don't
what
know.
Do you guys make it sound like he's Lord Voldemort? Like
he is Lord Voldemort. You don't say his name, Dave.
I don't know where he gets the energy, man, and the drive. Sometimes it's like, I think I heard them talking on Nerd Rage once. It's like the more time that you have, the less you get done because you feel like you have time to do everything and you end up doing nothing, kind of thing. So,
you definitely have to make the time. But like, you know, I feel you, Brian.
Like getting prepared for these NJCC shows really kind of just takes the wind out of my sails because I'm focused on that in some regards. And, you know, there's other things you got to do too, you know, living life errands and crap like that. But now that that's out of the way, you know, it's time to focus on another part of this and stop watching Infinity War every day, you know?
Yeah. That's 2.5 hours.
Like the shows and events like that, I think I find myself, it's like twofold. Like I'll be like NJCC, right? Just as an example, like at one moment I'll be like enjoying looking around and seeing everything. And, you know, it's fascinating to see what people are selling that, you know, you just have to say at some point you bought that, you know what I mean? At some point, somehow you accumulated that item and you wanted it. So it's interesting. But then other times there's so much stuff. Sometimes I'm like, you know, it's almost anxiety inducing where it kind of makes me not want any of it. Right. And, you know, it's just like you see the wall stuff go up and it's like, I don't need any of this stuff. It doesn't serve a purpose. So it's interesting how your emotions can create a wide range of feelings in those settings like that. So.
Yeah. I'm glad not to be in that pocket anymore of feeling like, you know, you have to get everything and that comes out. You know, I know we discussed, you know, when things sell out and then hot pieces and, you know, a time when I was kind of collecting a little bit of everything. There was definitely like that sense of urgency. So since I stopped doing that, like it has been a lot more relaxing.
You see your bank account going up too?
Oh, fucking yeah.
Like now that I streamlined and there isn't much new stuff coming out, my bank account and between the overtime I'm getting in this new store, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? I need to buy things. Let me buy RGB lights for every fucking room and stupid shit and air fryers and fucking infrared barbecues. No, I want to buy toys.
But I do have one other question just for you guys, because I think we've got a few different perspectives. So, Dust, you moved right into that apartment, not that long ago, right?
A year and a half.
And it was a move. I've moved many times, probably more so. I know I'm an extreme anomaly, as far as household moving and stuff. But Brian, you've been pretty settled there, in your place. JD, you're pretty settled. Dom, you've been considering, I think, at some point looking at someplace different.
Looking to go move, but it's on hold right now.
Gary, not to cut you off, can I call you Gypsy G now?
No, Gypsy Hustle.
But I do think it's, when you've done that before and you're not settled, right, or anchored into one place, and you've had to pack up and move multiple times, I think that changes your perspective a little bit also, because you maybe in the back of your head, like for me, I don't know when I'll ever feel settled somewhere.
All right, this is the new universal hangout for roboting. This is what we do when you robot.
No, you're good.
I didn't even realize you all were doing that. I'm sending Frogman a text, and you fucking look up. You guys are doing Domo, de Domo. That's trademark.
Sorry, Gary. Sorry.
No.
I understand what you're saying, Gary. It definitely puts a hold on everything in regards to what you want to do with your collection, because you just you're not anchored to a place where you're gonna want to decide on putting any stake in the ground on moving forward with your stuff.
Somebody like Gary, whose job moves them all around all over the place, it sucks. You can't really say, this is what I do, and you can't really do a cookie cutter because every place you move to is going to be different.
It's going to be different.
True. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah.
And Gary, whatever you buy, just send it to me. I'll hold it for you here.
Why do you say that shit all the time?
What sucks for me is like,
hold one. I put one in my house.
I moved to this apartment. It's the same setup as my old apartment. I'm in the same development, but I'm upstairs. And being that I'm upstairs, the kitchen is bigger and this room is smaller. This room is supposed to be the dining room, so it's about 2.5 to 3 feet smaller. And it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it is a lot. Because I used to have my computer in this corner. I used to have both walls on both sides where I could put displays up, and I used to have Decepticons and Autobots. That's how I had my room separated. That's why I have the Decepticon and Autobot posters, because I can't do it here. I don't have that display space, and sometimes it feels like with my computer the desk being so big, and getting back into the hardcore music production and getting the new space here, it's like, with the DTOS behind me, I really can't look at them because you need to take steps back. If I could take 2 or 3 more steps back, you could really enjoy your display. So
yes, you're right.
So it's just like, for me right now, I wish I still had the same size room for this that I did in the last place. But don't get me wrong, I love my new place to death. But it's frustrating, and this is why I think for the past year and a half I didn't do nothing else going that way, because I don't know what I want to do. So hopefully this week I could work that out and get that.
Is there a possibility that you might I know your family room and how it's laid out, maybe that corner where you had the Marvel Selects, put your desk there and then utilize that room right there you're sitting
and keep that room. That's an option also, man. That so really is an option.
Keep this room as solely your toy room, and then basically have your desk back there.
When I was with my ex-girlfriend in my old place, the dining room was a dining room.
Yeah.
So my computer was in that same corner in the old place, because it was the same format.
Gotcha.
It just, instead of having the closet behind me, that was the front door. Gotcha. Where that closet is in that corner by the sliding doors. You've been here, so you know how it is. So yeah. That could be an option also, but
because it gives you a little bit more space, maybe spread out your toys by a little bit more detail.
And even the stupid fucking thing is like just throwing a fucking bed in this room and making the bedroom my fucking collection room. How sick would that be?
I've thought about that.
Just sliding a fucking, putting my bed in here at one dresser and, with the TV, and I'm happy. I'm good. But
I don't think that's going to work out with your Tinder dates, bro.
Yeah. That's the one thing. It's like, wait a minute. They think it's pretty fucked up already when they go into the bathroom and it's a Star Wars bathroom, and I have this fucking shit all over my place and a Star Wars toaster and shit like that. But yeah, how do I explain me sleeping in the dining room because the bedroom is the toy room? Yeah. That's a little tough, but yeah, but it's like, even you even know, like, that little doorway that goes into the kitchen, from this room. That little, I don't need it. I didn't have it in my last place, so I'm actually thinking about getting a contractor to make like a faux frame.
Board it up.
Faux frame and putting some sheetrock on it, just sliding it in there and just putting two like pen nails in there. You know what I mean? Nothing huge. You know, I'm not making it permanent because I can take it down when I move.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then just painting it and making it like an extension of the wall and just put some fucking shelves up there or a bookcase or something. You know, something to just add more fucking space. So.
Thus, we could do that in an afternoon.
Yeah. You just take the trim off the trim off.
Man.
No, I'll keep the trim in there, man. Really? I'll just slide that fucking motherfucker right in there like a faux wall. just all you got to do is make a frame with 2x4s and throw some sheetrock on both sides and just kind of just slide it in and just tap in some fucking screws like I'm a fucking contractor. And I'm just putting some sort of fucking big ass fucking bookshelf in front of it anyway. It's gonna hide it anyway. So you know?
The same guy was like lighting it. I gotta
So you know, guys, when we come over, I'm looking at my watch right now. When you come over right now, we're gonna do the lights, and then we're gonna be we'll go to Home Depot. It's right down the hill here. We'll get some contracting action.
You know, Dom,
Gary can paint.
Dom, you didn't tell us what kind of.
Let's hear about you, D.
I definitely am. I have completist mentality. I do complete a lot of things. Unfortunately, when it comes to my Transformers, the funny thing is, on a completist standpoint, and I know he was talking, when Bobby, I'm not going to say Voldemort, but when Bobby was talking about like
Bobby.
Deluxe, I do have appreciation for the simplistic toys. And I do have the appreciation for the high-end toys. So I've been in this game for a long time. And, for, the Deluxe, even I have a whole collection of those one action flip Transformers. So like I have a whole, when the Revenge of the Fallen came out in that toy line, there was like these one simple fast action toys that came out. I have all of those. And like, just the whole, just enjoying those and how simplistic it was. It was nothing special about them, but it was just very easy, very simple. I had fun with them at the time, and I enjoyed them, and so I collected them. But I also have high-end toys that I appreciate and I enjoy. So the problem is that with me, I was always an end game to my display. Like I never felt I wanted to invest the time and the money to display my figures until I had the appropriate room for it. And I feel like I still haven't accomplished that or have a place to accomplish that. So it's always been on a hold period. And you guys all know we had discussions at that whole period to stop doing that, stop thinking that and waiting and actually do something, even if it's on a small scale and I'm in transit to do something like that. But definitely not going to collect, definitely not going to display all my collection. But I did have the display aspect in mind. It was definitely something that I thought of when I started collecting. Like I wanted to display my toys, but I wanted to acquire the toys that I wanted. So I didn't want to wait until I had the space and then stop buying the toys to display. I felt like I needed to acquire these toys now when I can buy them and have the money to buy them. And then just basically when the time did come, spend the money to display them. So I'm definitely not a tinkerer. I was in the past or a player. I don't have time to play with my toys. I don't.
Not a player.
I'm not playing. I just crush a lot.
Big Dom.
So it's just I don't have the time to do. I wish I did. I barely watch TV these days, so it's like when you guys talk about like all these Netflix shows and a lot of these shows that I just wish I had time to sit down and watch and enjoy. I just don't have that time. So I like to make that time. I used to play a lot of video games and I just don't have that time anymore to do even that. So to even sit down and enjoy and play my toys, I probably will get that aspect when I start displaying my toys, because like Dave, like I know I probably will be the one guy always flipping and changing my display because I'm going to get bored of it and looking at the same old. So I think that opportunity to switch out my toys and change my display will give me that opportunity to play with them and get back into that aspect. But I just feel like, I will never, I definitely can't classify myself as a tinker or a player, because it's just, I'm not that right now. And then just like, I just feel like, I do have a sort of a collection that's mint in box. I like the art aspect of it. I like the way, I get the feels or the memories of me walking into a store and seeing it on the peg and looking at the packaging and the whole kit and caboodle, and it really brings back memories. And that's why I do have sort of my collection mint in box collection, because it just gives me that aspect.
I was going to say for vintage lines, that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah. So it's just,
I mean, even like I got that. Shout out to Frogman. He sent me that classic Star Wars, the 6-inch scale line on the classic cards, and I spoke about it so much how I wish I had that collection, because it just gives me the feels. Am I a 6-inch Star Wars collector? No, I'm not. But that looks fucking awesome. So what I do? I threw it on the wall, and it's a fucking it's a piece of art now. It's a piece of art in my apartment. That Tinder dates go like, huh?
They just don't get it. But the thing is that's where I feel I am. I'm definitely a completist. I appreciate a lot of my aspect. I'm all over the place. I collect, as you guys know, I collect a lot of different things. So, I wish I can get out of some of the lines, but I'm just I guess I'm so entrenched in several of them, and it's just I feel like if I leave now, it's like, look at all I built and all I've acquired, and I'm going to just stop and give up, and then all of a sudden I have to go get rid of all the stuff that I've acquired, accumulated over time. So like that, when I say that in specific, it's Marvel Legends. Like I have these discussions with Dave and Gary and say, I would love to get rid of all my Marvel Legends, but I've acquired a lot of them, and for me to give up now, and then every new fucking line that they put out, it's like you think you're going to get out, and then all of a sudden, the new X-Men wave that comes out, and the figures that they're pulling out, it's like, oh fuck, I really want that figure.
Jim Lee X-Men, fuck you.
And then and that's where the completionist aspect comes back for you, right? Like you have to get them all. That's interesting.
Triggers.
Yeah, that's interesting you said that, because you said like if you were able to stop, then the question is why keep what you've acquired already? Like you couldn't be like just satisfied, like just to have it.
No,
but it's not, right? Because
I'd be like, if I stopped, I would probably want to get rid of everything and just say, hey, I'm not in this line anymore. So my completionist mindset would be just get rid of the rest of that I have. I can't just stop and enjoy what I have, and it's just weird. It's just that's how I function, and it's just and at the end of the day, I just want to get rid of. I know there's going to be eventually a time, and I know Brian and Dave is giving me the warnings and saying, once I start displaying stuff, there's going to be, a light bulb that pops up and says, I am not going to have room to display this stuff. So what the hell am I doing with it? And
yeah, man, those one-step changers are out of there.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot. Like I have like all the movie stuff. Like I have all the movie stuff.
Yeah.
But I know there's going to be a place and time when I want to give that up, I'll give it up. And knowing how much, the G, like there's kids that are growing up now that's their G1. And I know, whether the time they do sell them, I might get a good money off of them, and then maybe transition into something else that I enjoy at that time. So to me, it's just, I'm not worried. I'd like just acquiring. I like to put myself as an acquirer. I like to just collect.
But at the same time, you're a bit of a visionary too. Because when I hear you speak, you tell me I want this because I want this to look like this with the other two things I bought or whatever. So you have an idea what you want to do. It's not like you're just
Brian,
acquiring.
we had discussions about I bought all those hard hero busts, and I want to do my display as a all my just to celebrate Optimus Prime. So I'm going to have a display, whether it's a DTOF or a corner of a display cabinet that just basically has like four or five figures of Optimus Prime, mainly the masterpiece, the G1 figure, maybe that bust, and just say, hey, this is my tribute to Optimus Prime, and have that series that iteration of Optimus from G1 to classics to masterpiece, and then the cartoon bust just sitting there and just I can see Optimus Prime in all his glory and the way that I enjoyed him as a kid. So,
but you've just sold all those busts, right?
No, I still have them.
Must be someone else I'm thinking of.
I still have them, but like that's and yes, Dave, I am a visionary in regards to that. Like like I said, the end game to when I started collecting was to display it. Have I done it yet, or to the level I should have? No, I haven't. Not at all.
Why you have the crowbar end game in there trying to be cool?
Yeah.
I see what you're trying to do there, though.
This weekend,
Sandwiching in there. I'm trying to get that views going.
I got a question for you though. With your G1 inbox collection, you done? Like you?
Yeah. Like I can't. No, I don't have.
You're tapping out.
There's like maybe one. There's like for the 84, 85 series, I have maybe one or like 3 or 4 left to get, which are very expensive figures.
And you can sleep at night. You can sleep at night, not fucking being able to buy those things.
Dave,
dude, you're not a.
You know what happened? You know what happened, Dave?
How
you know what happened,
you ain't
Dave?
a completionist.
Dave, 2007 happened. The movie fucking came out, and that's when everything went out of crazy, and I just out of reach for me. So
for a cool feeling for me was being at NJCC one time, and Ace Milo collects his G1 collection, and I bought him the last piece he needed.
That's cool.
I bought it for him right there. I said, "How is it?" He goes, "It's pretty good." He goes, "It's really hard to find. I don't really see it much." I said, "Is it worth it?" He goes, "Yeah, it's worth it." I said, "I'll buy it for you," and I bought it for him, and I completed that fucking collection. It feels good. Now I want my money back. No, it's really cool to be able to be part of that, with like all of us doing us with our collections and contributing to each other's collections and stuff like that. It's just a really good feeling for me.
Yeah, and then I spoke with Gary got me that what is it, that Mysterio with the green head. Like I never found that one.
And if I could see a fucking 6-inch fucking Anakin come through my fucking doors.
But patience.
I will fucking hurt you, Gary. I can hurt you. I may be the old guy, but I still can hurt you.
Yeah, but that's where I stand. But like I do, and I'm. Dave is an inspiration. He is an inspiration, and Brian is an inspiration.
Let me tell you right now, tonight, all you guys are an inspiration to me tonight that make me want to go back and look at my collection again. Honestly, after having this discussion tonight, you guys are all an inspiration to me.
So, like, I want to take that step, and I'm hoping I can show you guys videos and photos of my where I'm going to go with that room. I'm halfway empty. It's halfway empty.
Those are divorce papers assigned. Things will be all ready to go.
Barbecue if you want to come.
We do not say demons in this house.
Just joking, Tom. I'm sorry. I'm not putting any fucking horns on you. But
Tom, keep making ham with glazes, and we'll show up.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Taylor Ham.
Deal. 11. Dom, it was 11 pounds. 11 pounds.
That's it. Dom, I was gonna say, that's why it's important to be in a group like this. You know what I'm saying? Because you get the different aspects of collecting, and you get everybody's ideas and interpretations of things. And like for example, me and Brian just started displaying our shit. Brian obviously before me, and then I started doing it, but we all still look at Dust and JD and be like, oh shit, look at their collections. I want to fucking put my shit out. You know what I mean? And like Jose, I used to look at his photography before I took fucking pictures and be like, oh shit, I want to take pictures like that. It's like you grab a little from everybody and you learn. That's the way you fucking learn. Like
that's what we're here for.
And Dave,
bounce off people. You got Crashbox Customs, you got JD doing display stuff, like it inspires you, and you got that help if you need it.
Oh yeah,
reach out and be like, yo, I need an idea. Or you could just get one of these guys to do it for you. Just got to throw them some bucks. But
get that fucking PayPal out, man. Get that PayPal.
It's definitely like guys. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I've been acquiring my collection, and at the end of the day, like I probably wouldn't not push the button to get things moving in regards to getting a display going in this house. But the thing is that it has opened my world to being a part of this group and seeing what you guys have done and saying to myself, you know what, I can have the same thing. Like saying I can do the same thing, and it's definitely opened my world and making me move to the steps.
What's awesome for you is that you can learn by our mistakes.
Yeah. And
that didn't work out for these guys, so I'm not. I thought about going that way. I'm not going to go that way now because I saw how it worked out for those guys.
Exactly, and we all learn from each other in that aspect. So
that's how we grow.
It's how we grow.
Oh, and come on, group hug. Bring it in. Bring it in.
But like, I really appreciate the fact that we as a community can grow from that and then learn from each other and just and get to that place that we all know where we can enjoy our toys and just whatever collector you are, like
you got a fucking good thing going on here, guys.
You can be a tinker, you can be a player, you can be crusher, you can be anything you want to be, but at the end of the day it's like enjoy. We all have one thing in common, and the common thing is that we love toys and the feelings that it brings us. So
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Awesome.
No, look at Dom, man, making me fucking get all emotional and shit.
That's all what this was about, and I just want to have this conversation.
Well, Dom, fucking fantastic topics, and even Frogman hit me up. He was like, "Yo, bro, this is a fucking great show for you to be on," because he's never heard me talk about some of the things and how I am. So thank you very much for these topics.
Man, appreciate it.
And I look forward to.
We broke Dustin's mold.
Nah, yeah, when you're doing your shows, you get into your lane, So it's nice to get out of my lane every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
There's an old episode of Toy Detox where I really got out of my lane, like back in the day, and that was a great listen, and then people learn more about you.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great thing. Let's wrap on that. And as always, we do have the unbroadcasted ROC hangout that continues after the show.
Oh fuck yeah! You better get in here because I'm getting primed. My night is just starting. So
that's right. We'll continue this discussion, and anybody that's watching or listening right now live, you're more than welcome to join us. We'll be posting the link in the Roma Collectors Facebook group as soon as we're off the air. Great discussion tonight, Dom. Really appreciate you taking tonight. And with that, let's run it down the line, get some quick where you at. Brian Brink, I'll start with you, brother.
You can find me Brian Brink in the Facebook groups and at Brinkalizer on Instagram.
All right, Dave.
And John Addict on Instagram, here on Tuesday nights. David Colon in the Facebook groups.
Thanks. And can you do me a favor next week? Can you put something in that one square that's behind your head? It's the one that's closest to the camera. You would think that you'd put one in there.
Yeah, right.
The one up above it. Yeah, the one that's right by your fucking noggin. Put something in there, man. People see that. You're on a show. Oh, here we go. Chug collector. Great.
Done.
Yeah,
throw them up there.
That's like when I put an air fryer in a fucking detolf, man. Come on. We're trying to put asses in seats here. Okay?
I love all the listeners, but I do this for me. So when I get my fucking head right, then I'll throw that.
You know what? I'm gonna buy you like big X's and O's so we can play tic-tac-toe.
It's like Pinkerton too, man. I'm like, man, throw something in those fucking detolfs, man.
I'm gonna go with Leia for 200.
That's funny.
All right, Big Dom.
You can find me in the groups Dominic Grasso and on Instagram as the Crusher. And I'm not gonna hurt you. And here Tuesday nights with you guys.
All right, our special guest for the evening, Dust Mites.
Yo, Dust Mites on Instagram, Eddie Dust Mites in the Facebook groups. Do me a favor, go out there and find my old YouTube channel and blow the dust off of it, man. I'm gonna try something new over there, so give me a follow there. And I may be starting a Bandcamp page to post some instrumentals up there for you guys to consume. So holler on that. Shout out to Monday Nights, Enter the Realm. Shout out to the Roma Collector. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me on. Shout out to Cobra Law Records. What else do I got going on? Anything else? I think that's about it, man. Shout out to Frogman, man, who's been hitting up my phone every fucking 3 minutes. Shout out to Frogman. Where's Frogman? It's been a minute since we've seen Frogman on a show. He needs to make an appearance real soon. So.
Word up.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man. My vacation ride is going on. Tomorrow's figure banging. I will not be able to make it to Stasis Lock. Sorry. Figure banging tomorrow. It's not that they wouldn't have me. It's just time is not working out for me. Figure banging tomorrow. I don't know. Thursday, I was planning on doing something, but with that fucking premiere, I don't know. maybe I could just see who's not going Thursday. You want to sit in a room and cry about it?
You'll be in a room by yourself.
Yeah, I'll be sitting alone. Hey man, it's not the first time I'm going to show by myself.
You're gonna be like,
hey, what's up, everybody? Go through the notes real quick. And Friday, I'll be on MPSP Theater, and I'm definitely going to do something Saturday. Let's plan something big for Saturday. So if you guys are around, you're available, hit me up. We're going to do some crazy live stream on Saturday. So
cool.
And that's it.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, man. I had a lot of good time, and I drank quite a few beers, and I probably sniffed this thing so much. It smells so fucking good. Shout out to Cara. They got that paint on lock.
Cancer.
So
Right. Well,
no, that's if it was third party. If it was ex-trans bots, I would have to worry, but no.
We're glad to have you, brother.
Thank you, dude. I'm shutting up now.
G Money.
Yes, Gary Allen on Facebook and ROC
1
group.
foot, 1 leg in my bed right now.
No, I got a little time. I got like 17 minutes before the 10 p.m. cutoff. So make sure you get in to hang out for a few minutes, and then it's kind of my thing to coast out before Jose boots me. So
all right, JD.
You can find me, JD Brocious, on the Facebook groups. Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live every Tuesday night here with these fine fellas right here. Look at these beautiful men. Look at them.
Where?
What the fuck you looking at?
Come on, man. You're all beautiful.
I shut everybody's camera off. I don't see anybody. I even shaved for you motherfuckers tonight.
You didn't have to do that.
I didn't shower.
Tomorrow night, all new figure banging.
Yeah, figure bang.
And
Do you know what we're doing tomorrow?
It's a
Nope. It's always a surprise.
Yeah, it's always I got nothing. All right, I'm hosting figure banging tomorrow.
Maybe you should. I don't know what's coming.
You can find me in the chats, elbow nudging people. You gotta do it. You want to buy it? Come on, just do it.
Just do it.
But I got medical bills. Well, Uncle Sam, if he wanted a healthy taxpayer, he could be paying your medical bills.
It's only $30. Just buy it.
Right, just do it.
I know what you're talking about right now.
No.
Come on, pussy, do it. Do it. Realm of enablers. Realm of ROE.
Always.
Enablers.
Realm of ball busting enablers.
No, that don't look good on a shirt. I'm thinking designs. No, not anymore.
All right, guys. And as for myself, Harrick and BX all over social media. Check out Verbally Challenge with Harrick and BX on all audio platforms. Dust Mites was one of my guests this week.
Yeah, what a great talk, man. That was a really good discussion, man.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Beyond that end game hype, and can't wait to see that this weekend. Enjoy it, guys. Everybody that's going to be out there watching that this weekend.
Yep.
Before
we didn't spoil anything, we just speculated.
Yeah, it's just a lot of speculation. Next week will be definitely full-on spoilers there. Before we head out, remember there is an audio version of this podcast you could subscribe to on iTunes, Google Play, your favorite podcast pushing platform. Please do so. Leave a 5-star review. Before you check out for this evening, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, check out crashboxcustoms.com and on social media for all your mezco and diorama needs. Mention the word Realm when placing an order. You'll get a surprise gift with your purchase. Check out the website, realmofcollectors.com. Check us out on Facebook, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. This show is a proud part of the Cool Table, so please pull up a chair. It's a network hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Stasis Lock, 8 Weeks Building Up to It, Fresh Communication, and Verbally Challenged. You can find the Cool Table on Facebook along with links to all those other awesome podcasts. So, all right, guys, ROC Hangout continues next. Link will be in the Facebook group, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Plug it.
Toodles.
Anything? Anybody?
Toodles. What happened to the Crusher?
What happened to the